Hey everyone, welcome back to the soliamechling show. Thank you guys for tuning in. Today we're going to be talking about all the ICE raids and illegal immigration, what you need to know, why is it important, is this inhumane, and all of the topics. But before we begin, please hit subscribe, like, and comment because it means so much to me because I'm trying to push out all this content for you guys and it means so much when you guys support me. So let's talk about all the illegal immigration stuff that is going on. So basically back in 2020, when President Biden was in office, we had mass illegal immigration. Our borders were open and they were being flooded with gang members and criminals. Yes, there was also family members in there that obviously didn't have harm, but we had a mixture of so many people. And I do want to be very clear that if you come into this country illegally, that's breaking a law. No matter how much of a good person you are, or if you had no intent to hurt or harm anyone, it still makes you a criminal in the eyes of the law, right? So if I went to a gas station and I stole a candy bar because I was hungry and I really needed one, that's still stealing. And I still broke the law because the laws are there in place to create order so that we don't have chaos. And I'm going to touch upon a lot of stuff, but so basically President Biden had a lot of open borders, and something that Donald Trump ran on was his promise that he would secure our borders, that he would make our country safe again, because with the rise in a lot of illegal immigrants coming, there was a rise in drugs and, cartels and gangs and dangerous criminals that were in our country attacking our citizens, which was wrong. And something that happened with Laken Riley was horrifying. This poor college girl who was just out on a run one day was brutally murdered by a illegal immigrant who was Hispanic, and it was one of the most heart-wrenching times because as a girl, you have to be concerned about your safety, which is unfortunate because America is supposed to be this great nation. It is supposed to be this nation of safety, and I want to preface that crime can happen anywhere. But this could have been avoided, and a lot of other incidents like this, and unfortunately so many other people have been with criminals who are immigrants or just criminals who have been released and are back in society when there should have been further action that was taken. The second that these people showed any signs or broke the law in any way, they should have been deported. But unfortunately, that's what we were living through under the Biden administration. Crime was running rampant, our borders were running rampant, and it was really a hostile time in America. But basically, what is ICE? So ICE is a federal agency under the Department of Homeland Security, and its main job is enforcing immigration laws inside the U.S. to remove individuals who came here illegally and prevent border crossing crimes like human trafficking and drug smuggling. Right? So this is ICE workers, and so many liberals and so many people are literally harming ICE workers. And you guys have to realize ICE is there to protect us citizens. If somebody came here illegally, they broke the law and they should be deported. That's how this works, right? Every country has borders, every country has laws. And then people say, well, we were on stolen land, so it shouldn't matter. But then people say that borders are imaginary, and it just gets so confusing. And really all I think is that if you're an American citizen, you have a birthright to be safe in your own country from other immigrants and people that are trying to harm. And I preface this by saying illegal. We love immigrants. I love immigrants. My family's from Colombia, and they immigrated here legally, because we want immigrants. We're a melting pot of America, but we don't want it illegally. We don't want gang members here. We don't want criminals here. We don't want sex trafficking and drugs here because that's not what America is for. We don't need that in our borders, and unfortunately, we already have it. But liberals are going crazy saying that, families are being torn apart, this and this and that, When Obama had all of these missing kids, nobody was saying anything about that. But the second that Donald Trump is in office and he's starting to do things, people lose their minds and go insane. And I also want to say that these liberals protesting against ICE, it absolutely makes no sense. To me, it's like protesting the police during 2020 when they were saying defund the police. You know what happens when you defund the good guys and the people that are trying to keep you safe? Everything goes to hell. right? It goes to hell in a handbasket because you don't have safety, you don't have laws, you don't have enforcing, right? If you just could steal at a Walmart anytime you wanted, you would probably do it. But you don't, because there's laws in place that that's not okay. You can't just rely on people's morals and people's values to not do things. There are bad people in the world that we need to prevent against that. And I know I'm going on a rampage, but border crossing. So illegal crossings in the southern border have reached record highs in recent years, which is absolutely insane, and they're doing it illegally. Many argue that weak borders enforces and encourages cartels, human smuggling, and puts a strain on American communities and resources. And that's also another thing, because part of this is with the government shutdown. I believe that the government is wanting money to be sent to these illegal immigrants. Taxpayer money that we're paying out of our paycheck. No, it doesn't go back to fund, the communities. It doesn't go back to fund our kids. It doesn't go back to fund our neighbors or fund our communities or fund, public servants. No, it goes to illegal immigrants, people that came here wrongfully, and people that shouldn't be here, that are getting our money. That doesn't work like that. It shouldn't work like that. You should have to work for what you have as a capitalist society, and you should do it legally, right? If you give a kid a bunch of candy, that's not healthy for them. That's not okay for them. We can't just be coddling these people. This is absolutely insane. And people say that, conservatives support and strengthen ICE because we just want to rule over people and we're racist. And then, the liberals say ICE is being too aggressive and it's separating families. And the reality is that if you came here illegally, you're a criminal and you should be treated as a criminal. And that might sound really harsh. I'm Hispanic. I'm Colombian. My family's Colombian. My grandmother is from Colombia and immigrated here legally. But you're jumping in line ahead of people who came here legally and you're getting rewarded for that. It shouldn't work like that. It should not work like that. And if we want to have a conversation of how to get your green card faster, that's a conversation I'm willing to have, because I don't think it should take as long to get your green card or to become an American citizen. I think we need a good test of if you're, a good person, and if you'll integrate into our society, and if you'll respect our laws and respect our history, then that's incredible. But we should not be enforcing the fact that people are coming here illegally. That's just wrong. And it's also putting American citizens at risk for sex trafficking and drugs and smuggling and all of this stuff, which is not okay. And the U.S. Department of State released a statement. It's literally on their website. And I'm going to read it because I think it's really good. It says, to make America safer, the United States is securing borders and ensuring that the U.S. immigration laws are upheld and respected. Migrants who try to enter the United States illegally or remain illegally after their authorized stay has expired will face serious consequences. These could include jail time, immediate deportation to their home country, and a permanent ban on obtaining a U.S. visa in the future. The choice is clear. Do not make the dangerous journey. Do not risk it. Do not break the U.S. law. Which is incredible. I'm so glad that they brought this up and stated, do not break the U.S. law, right? I understand if you're going through a hard time, if you're looking for a better place to start. America is a safe haven, as it should be, right? But most of these people are coming through the border illegally because they can. And they're doing it because other people are doing it. And so they just come into our country and they think that it's okay, but it's not. And I'm not standing for it. The liberals try to come from the emotional standpoint of, oh, this and oh, that and oh, that. But I'm sorry. I'm going to be that conservative that says facts don't care about your feelings, because it's true. They don't. If you broke the law, then you're a criminal and you should be treated as one. I do have a heart for those people. I do have a heart for the people that are trying to find a better future, but you don't have to do it illegally. I know several people that have come to this country and have done it rightfully and have made an incredible life for them. So all of this to say that, ICE is trying to make our communities safer. ICE is trying to get rid of drug cartels and sex trafficking and all of this stuff. And I don't understand why people are so upset with it. If you came to this country illegally, it should just be common sense that you get deported or you have you face consequences for that because it's wrong. But you know what? In 2025, I guess common sense is gone and we want people to come into this country illegally and break laws. Okay. Anyway, hope you guys have gotten a little bit of information from this video. Hopefully it has made sense to you that basically what ICE is doing is trying to protect our communities. Basically the government shutdown is because of a lot of things, but they also want to help fund illegal immigration and help, people that are breaking this country and taking money from taxpayer American citizens, which is absolutely insane and absolutely wild. But at the end of the day, if you break the law, you're a criminal. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching and please subscribe.